The first detail that resists explanation is the surface of the metal itself. In early photographs, the train bodies reflect light evenly, without warping or ripple. Rivet lines sit flush. Panels curve smoothly where stress should distort them. This finish appears on vehicles dated to the 1830s, yet the texture resembles metal worked under controlled conditions, not hammered into shape. The accepted explanation is restrained. Early industrial metallurgy advanced faster than commonly assumed. Skilled blacksmiths produced high-quality iron. Some regions had access to superior ore. Workshops refined their techniques through repetition. That explanation accounts for durability, but it does not account for consistency. What's missing here is variation. Manual metallurgy leaves fingerprints, slight differences in grain, uneven surfaces, tool marks that change from piece to piece. Yet these trains show uniformity across entire bodies. Plates appear interchangeable. Damage patterns repeat. Repairs fit seamlessly, as if replacement parts already existed. Doorways in depots offer another contrast. They are sized for human movement, not large-scale metal handling. Staircases inside workshops are narrow, wooden, and worn. Floors show no reinforcement where heavy forging would occur. These spaces look occupied, not industrially transformed. Yet the metal inside them suggests processes that require heat control, precise alloying, and slow cooling. Some components appear thin but strong. Support members carry weight disproportionate to their size. Couplings are compact, yet show little deformation after decades of use. These are not decorative choices. They are functional. Why build lighter when heavier materials were easier to produce? Once this surface quality is noticed on one vehicle, it becomes harder to ignore elsewhere. Passenger cars, freight units, and early locomotives share similar finishes. Even when styles differ, the metal behaves the same way. Corrosion patterns align. Fractures, when visible, propagate cleanly, not irregularly. These traits appear in multiple regions, separated by distance and time. The same sheen, the same resistance, the same silence in the records. Foundry logs from the period exist, but they focus on volume, not composition. Terms like worked iron and refined steel appear without ratios or methods. Drawings show shapes, not processes. Recipes are absent. Maps list ironworks near rail lines, but excavation reports reveal small furnaces, limited airflow, and basic tooling. Nothing suggests the ability to produce uniform alloys at scale. What's missing here is the step between ore and object. Around 1840, maintenance notes begin referencing material behavior instead of source. Phrases like unusual hardness and unexpected resilience appear. They are not emphasized. They are treated as observations, not problems. By the 1860s, those phrases disappear. Replacement parts are described differently. Heavier, simpler, more forgiving. The older vehicles remain in service, but no longer set the standard. Then the records thin. In the early 1870s, metallurgical journals shift focus. New methods are introduced loudly and with detail. Bessemer, open hearth. Processes are named, explained, promoted, but comparisons to earlier rail materials are absent. It is as if the older metal does not exist in the conversation. Photographs from dismantling yards show older cars cut apart. The metal edges appear clean, not brittle. Workers pose beside sections without comment. No tests are shown. No curiosity recorded. Inventory lists mark some components as unsuitable for reuse, without explanation. They are not recycled. They are discarded. What kind of material cannot be reused? yet shows no visible failure. Around 1895, museum collections receive select rail artifacts: wheels, plates, couplings. Labels describe age and location, but not composition. Samples are not analyzed, at least not publicly. Later catalogs remove them from display. After 1910, references stop entirely. The disappearance is quiet. No bans, no debates, just omission. The architecture of the rail system still holds clues. Early platforms align precisely with car heights that later trains abandon. Track spacing supports lighter loads than later designs require. Bridges built for early trains remain over-engineered for their weight. These structures suggest an expectation that trains would remain light. Why assume that if metallurgy was only improving? Some surviving components, stored in private collections, resist modern testing. Reports mention difficulty machining samples. Drill bits dull quickly. Cuts behave unpredictably. These notes are informal, scattered, and rarely followed up. If the material were ordinary, this would not happen. The absence of explanation becomes the pattern. By the mid-20th century, histories simplify the narrative. Early trains were crude. Progress was inevitable. The middle details are skipped. But the metal remains, in photographs and fragments, quietly contradicting that story. If these methods were known, they are no longer taught. If they were lost, they were not mourned. If they were replaced, the transition was not recorded. The investigation does not resolve. It pauses where the records stop, where the material changes, where questions replace descriptions. The trains do not announce their mystery. They simply endure it. If you want to stay with these unanswered details, you can quietly like, comment, or subscribe, and continue observing what no longer fits.